legends and superheroes. My name's Dr. Dre, but yes, without the doctor. You're tuned into Hot Hire, which is the #1 place. That's right, I said the #1 place if you're looking to get into your ideal job in the shortest possible time. So today I've got a special guest, and with this woman, I absolutely love her. So we've met a few weeks ago. First was at a NLP training, practitioner training, which was with Tony K. And then last weekend we had business boot camp for 3 days with Richmond Dim. So this woman is a business coach, a performance coach, and so many other things as well. So beautiful woman inside out. And I just want to say a massive, huge welcome to Angela Carroll. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great, thanks, Dre.
Right. Angela, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I have been coaching predominantly natural healthcare practitioners for the last 17 years. And I have just very recently, in the last 2 years, made that my focus in business. And so I coach natural healthcare practitioners to run more successful practices without the burnout. I also coach business professionals going through burnout, so where the stress, overwhelm and fatigue, so I have a burnout recovery program, and I also teach or coach public speaking. So for people who want to create education presentations and position themselves as the expert. So sort of juggling a few things at the moment, yeah, it's been an interesting journey.
Sounds like you've got your hands really busy. So, do you have any sort of like valuable tips that you can share with the audience?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was thinking, you're talking about this in your audience, either looking at getting into the workforce or performing in the workforce. And I thought probably one of the best areas to focus on today might be looking at speaking.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking with purpose. So I don't know whether you want to look at, do you have a preference as to whether you want to look at people going into job interviews, or do you want to have them approaching meetings to get the most out of the meetings, or would you like to focus on any particular area?
Yeah,
or all of the above?
Yeah, can we focus on actually going into that job interview? I think that would be really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So my understanding is, and I must admit I haven't had to go for a job interview for a long time, so correct me if I'm wrong, is that you effectively are going in and you prep yourself by understanding who the business is and what their values and what they stand for, and then prepping yourself as far as the types of questions you're going to be asked and how to put your best self forward. Is that still how things roll?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Hey, Super Legends, so sorry to interrupt the show. If you do like what you're seeing, please don't forget to like, comment and share. Thank you.
Okay. So when you are going into that position, you also need to prep yourself as to how you're going to get that message across, how you're going to tell that story. So being proactive rather than reactive. So going in there to the present, well, it is a presentation, really, presenting yourself. So going into the meeting with not just, oh, I've got an answer for this and I've got an answer for that when they ask me that question. Yeah. So showing some initiative going in there with a plan and a strategy for the message you want to get across, because in actual fact, you're selling yourself. So you've got a product to sell, and that's yourself. And that, as you know, in all selling has to come from a place of confidence and surety that you're the right person for that job and you've got the goods to turn up. So in effect, you need to plan your presentation before you go in to into the meeting, into the interview, with what's the end aim that you want. What's the message you want to get across about yourself? Why do you stand out? So having that little strategy in place as to the message you need to get across, and then it's like any presentation, so rather than coming in and they're going, hi, how you going today? Hi, Dre, how you going today? And you go, oh, yeah, great, thanks. That's not going to win you the interview. So what's your impact going to be? What's that first point of impact? So do you ask them a question? Do you say, it's great, thanks, I just woke up with this, so much excitement today? Always a positive story. Always a positive story. Great, thanks, I'm so honored to be here. I've always loved this company and what they've stood for. Or I'm doing great. I just had this fabulous morning. Sell the positivity of the day, of being there, so that you're actually starting off on a good level. And as we know with the coaching and NLP, one of the things you do is match and mirror. Yeah, so you are matching the interviewer's energy and just raising it just a little bit, so that they want to actually be with you. They want to spend more time with you, and they want to be interested in you. So rather than coming in and, oh yeah, great, look, the bus was late and I lost my wallet this morning and I slept through the alarm. It's not a great way. Not a great way to start the interview. So, match and mirror who you're with. Go in with intent and positivity and a message to sell yourself. So you go in there with what the big aim is. And then throughout the interview, add value and stories to the questions. So if you've prepared an answer to questions that you preempted, then where's the story? Where can you actually take that and say, oh, look, I remember when I had, in my previous role, I had the same sort of situation happened, and this is how I overcame that. So, where can you bring life stories? Where can you bring relevance of how you actually showed initiative and stood up to present yourself? And then at the end, you've got to have a close. Any presentation's got to have a close as well to make you memorable all the way through. So your close, to a degree, is a call to action. So what do you want to say at the end? I've loved this interview. I really loved to have the opportunity to work with you in the company. So I really look forward to hearing back from you on this. And even ask. I don't think there's anything wrong with being daring, and ask, well, when would I expect to hear from you? What's your time frames on getting back to me? And so, I really don't want to miss this opportunity. As you can imagine, there are other roles I do need to be working, and there are other roles out there, and I would really love to prioritize this particular one. So if you give me a time frame, then I know that I'm going to be available for you. So whatever it is that you need to, whatever message you want to put across, whatever it is that you want out of that interview, you need to prepare it as a presentation. And I do have one other thing I want to add to that.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
is that okay?
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
It's about your voice. So when you're nervous, you have a nervous voice. What are your nervous habits? And so it's one of the things I do with the coaching is voice training. So nervous habits for women, such an irritating thing. Their voices go up at the end. Oh, I'd love to work with you. Well, I'm so excited. When do we start? I don't know. So the up at the end is a nervous habit that a lot of women do, and it's a very disempowering habit. So learning to turn your voice down at the end is a command, and people will listen to you and take you more seriously, as a female in particular. Same thing for guys. It's a command. If you want things to happen, right, you lower your voice. Yeah. You're right. Yes. You lower your voice at the end of the sentence, and it becomes a command, and people are more likely to take you seriously and take you on, as opposed to if you end everything with a question. And I think that's important. Also, to do some vocal warm-ups before you go into the interview. Yeah, so there's things you can do to loosen your jaw up. I do, but they're really embarrassing on camera. Yes. So I'll only do them. Yeah. I'll only do them if you'll do them with me. Okay. So yeah, it's a funny thing. You don't ever think about your tongue being tight and your jaw being tight, but your tongue can get really, really tight. And if I don't actually do voice warm-ups beforehand, if I've got a presentation, sometimes I sound like I'm lisping because my tongue doesn't work properly. So it's just something early days of doing, podcasts and webinars, why am I lisping? sound like I've got a voice, a sound, a speech problem. And I actually just hadn't done the warm-ups beforehand. So you take your tongue and it goes outside your teeth and into the top lip, and you've got to go round in one direction, right round your whole mouth for 6. And then you go back the other way for 6.
So
You don't need to make the noises either. Now, look, I looked at myself in the mirror, the video, and I've gone reverse. So round all the way for 6, back all the way for 6, and then round the other way for 4, back the other way for 4, 2 and 2, and then you're done. And then the other one is a bit like that yoga pose, the lion's roar, where you open your whole neck up, jaw right. You've got to do this with me, Dre. Come on.
Yeah.
Right, and the tongue all the way, a bit like the haka, actually. Think about your whole neck out and your tongue as far out as it goes. Ready? And back in. Yeah. Tell me how much better that feels now that you. Yeah. How's that feel now? You've just done that. Is that as far out as your tongue goes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. And it loosens everything up. Okay, the last one is really weird, but it really works to loosen everything up around the neck and shoulders. Okay, hands together.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, completely relax your jaw so it's all floppy and just shake. La, 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 la. Perfect. So how does that feel around your neck and your jaw at the moment?
Yeah, it feels good. Feels good.
Are you just saying that? But it does. It will make a difference. So do that. Do that several times beforehand. But that loosens everything up and it takes all the tension out, because if you're scared, if you're frightened of going into the interview, you're nervous, everything will tie up and your voice constricts and you can't present yourself with the voice that you want. And that's the same thing for going to sales calls. If you want to go into a meeting and you want to nail a meeting, or you want to convince someone of something, you've got to have be persuasive. You've got to have a persuasive argument, or there's somebody you've got to have that awkward conversation with, where there's something that they're not doing right at work or at home, and you've got to have a conversation. Doing all of that vocal stuff first, doing the preemptive thought process of what's my aim, what do I need to get out of this communication, and how is this going to work, is going to be able to set you in good stead to get the results that you want.
I love that. So having that confidence and that certainty. Some of those tips, I just love it. Like building rapport, being able to effectively communicate your value and your skill set. Love that. All right. So what do you have going on at the moment? Are you up to anything exciting? Like any projects, programs?
Yeah, I am about to launch my website. So hopefully that will be out next week. Fingers crossed. Keep heading hiccups in the way, and then I'm actually working on doing a launch program with natural healthcare practitioners throughout Australia and New Zealand to help them to be able to put into place some strategies for a more successful business.
Brilliant. And how do people get hold of you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook under Angela Carroll. That's 2 R's and 2 L's on Carroll. And I am on Instagram, but very, very rarely. So mostly Facebook. So you can contact me through there. Or when my website comes out, there is a holding page at the moment. That is angelacarrollcoaching.com.au.
Oh, brilliant. So I'll make sure we put the details at the bottom as well. So Angela.
Thank you.
It's about that time.
You're excited.
Do you have a dad joke for us to finish on?
I do, and this is one of my favorite jokes when I was a child, and my dad used to tell it to me, and then became my son's favorite joke as well. So for about 6 months, it was the joke he told to everybody, and they had to pretend that it was funny every time that they heard it over and over again. So what did the boy volcano say to the girl volcano?
I don't know. What did the boy volcano say to
I love you. See, it's still funny.
I love that one. I love that one. Yeah, that's awesome.
I love you that you love it.
Angela, I just want to say a massive thank you for all the value that you shared, and even like the dad joke at the end. You're absolutely amazing, and really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Dre. And it's been, my world is a better place for meeting you.